My fellow comic book collectors. Today we're going to be looking at the trending 20 from Key Collector Comics. And I hope it's going to be interesting. I'm not even sure what the list is. So this is me giving you my fresh take on what I think are these good comics to collect, forget, or flip. So I think I got that right.
You did, yeah. I'm amazed.
Yeah, see, I'm not as bad as Mark thinks I am. So, we're going to be looking at those today. We're going to look at the first 10 on my channel and the last 10 on Mark's channel. So let's get to it, Mark. What do we have first? What's the first comic?
Hey,
Okay,
we're off.
yeah, off to the races. Okay,
So there you go. So the first one on the list. So we're going to look through these first 10 here on your channel. The first one on the list is West Coast Avengers 42. And I believe this is on the list because there is a rumor that we are going to get a Vision Disney Plus series, and it's going to be based on Vision Quest. And this is the first issue of Vision Quest.
nice. Yeah, I heard that it was going to be a Vision Quest. Sort of WandaVision 2, basically. I think this is kind of an interesting book. It's probably like a dollar bin book.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
that's Tigra, isn't it? Is it Tigra?
Tigra, yeah.
Tigra.
Tigra or Tigra? I don't know how you pronounce her
Tigra,
name.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, you know what I always do whenever I see let's say this is the hot book of the week, right? Well, it's the trending 20. Whatever characters are on the cover or whatever characters are related to it, I think maybe those characters might be the ones you should get the first appearances of rather than the hot trending 20 book. That's something I always think about.
Yeah, well,
But
of course, Scarlet Witch first appearance is horrendously expensive. Hawkeye's one is also expensive. I'm not sure about
it's
this.
actually come down a lot, the
Has
Hawkeye
it?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wonder Man's is going up.
Yeah. So yeah. I did that with way back when WandaVision was coming out. I bought all the Wonder Man things, the Grim Reaper, and all these kind of characters that were kind of related to WandaVision that through the comics. So what do I think of this one? I would just flip it if you can. If you already have it, sell it. They sell it on whatever spec is coming out because this is a dollar bin book. You can pick it up for $1 later. Um, yeah, and based on the spec of the way some of the books that we're going to be talking about later on this list, I think it's one of those books that will go up really high and then it'll drop down really fast.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you find it for $1, fine.
Yeah, you're investing.
Otherwise, I agree with Alan. I mean, actually at this stage, I'd probably say flip. You could probably still get this
Yeah,
for
that's what I
five
said. Flip
dollars,
it.
three to $5, and you might be able to flog it for $20 to $30 in a month.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So yeah,
Okay,
this
so
would be a definite flip. Yeah.
second up, we have got Wonder Man #1, the first ongoing solo series featuring Wonder Man in Hollywood, and this is on the list because Wonder Man's Hollywood agent Neil Saroyan. There is a rumor that Bob Odenkirk has been hired to play Wonder Man's agent. Now, Bob Odenkirk is a great actor. He was in
I don't
Breaking
know.
Bad, and he was also the lead character in Take It to Saul.
That guy.
Yeah,
I know who you're talking
yeah,
about.
he's a really, really good comic actor.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Okay, so
I think he'll be
he would
great
be the
playing an
actor.
agent,
He'd be the agent.
and a Hollywood
Right.
agent. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, is that a character that will be remembered in the future? I don't know. But okay, so what is your opinion about this book?
Well, I picked this up. I got a whole
I
set of Wonder Man in an
Yeah, I
auction
have this
about
book
three
too.
months ago before they announced the Wonder Man. So I got the whole run of Wonder Man for about £30, which included this one, and it also included the next one we've got on the list, which is his one-off special that's out before this.
Yeah.
I quite like Wonder Man. He's quite funny. This series, I've read a few of these. They're quite funny. So
Mhm.
I suspect this is going to be another She-Hulk type TV series,
Mm.
based around Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, it could be them making fun of themselves. Hope, ideally that's what it would be,
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's the case. I picked this book up way back when WandaVision was on,
yeah,
because
yeah,
if you know the storyline, the Wanda and Wonder Man are very connected
yeah,
in terms of like bringing back Vision. Um, so yeah, I personally have this as a collect just because I think it's kind of a cool book for that
yeah. I
reason.
think it's a collect. I still think it was undervalued for ages, and I
Yeah.
still think it's probably undervalued. So I'm with you. I think this is a collect. I think it's a really nice
Mhm.
cover as well. We've got a dinosaur in it. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
covers with
That's always
dinosaurs are always good.
Yeah,
Uh,
always important to have a dinosaur.
so yeah, I agree. I think this is a good collect. And what if these Wondermans, the first few issues have got this little box down here
Hmm.
with three words in. They're really funny. So on this one, it just says collectible, cool, and calm. But some of the other issues, they've got some really funny, collections of words in here. So yeah, I quite like this one. I think this
Yeah,
is a collect as well.
yeah. I have a feeling it's going to go up a bit and probably even maintain its like current values, whatever it's at now. Like it's not a big book, anyways. It's like a $10 book, $10, $20 book. Um,
Yeah, high grade raws.
It'll probably go up to 30, 40 around the show and then drop back down to what it is now. Like,
Yeah,
I get a
maybe. It
little,
depends how the show goes, doesn't it?
yeah, it really depends. If the show is great, then it'll keep on going up. But I don't think it'll ever like hit like stratospheric numbers because it was a cheap book for the longest time.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, it was a dollar bin book.
yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah.
Okay, so third up and linked to that, I suppose, we've got West Coast Avengers 45. This is the first appearance of is it the White Vision?
White Vision, yeah.
This book went loopy and has crashed back down. So this again is linked to this Vision Quest rumor. Um, uh, I haven't got this. I certainly wasn't going to buy it when it went completely stratospheric following WandaVision. But it's way back down in price now. Is this worth buying, Alan?
Well, so I have two copies of it.
Okay.
Um, and like like I got a like I got the raw copy, and then what I did was I waited for the spec around White Vision to sort of fade because I actually kind of like this book. I like the homage covers anyways. I kind of
Yeah.
thought I like first appearances, I like homage covers. So I wanted this book in my collection, just kind of in a nice way. I knew that Vision was not done, like as a character, and now he's in the White Vision form, anyways, because at the end of WandaVision, spoiler, he flies off as White Vision.
Yeah.
Well, he flies off. He's not dead. So I knew that the character was coming back, and now we know again the character is coming back. So what happened was this book had gone up to like $1,000 book, and that the price has dropped back down to like 100 to $200 book.
Yeah.
Really tanked.
It has.
Um, and so what I did is I bought it like about 2, 3 months ago
Okay.
when it was at that low.
Low point.
And cool thing is, I bought it when it was like totally dead, and now it's gone back up again. I paid $60 for my copy, just to
Okay.
give you a sense of how much it had dropped. Um, but yeah, so I think for me, I'm a collector anyway, so I'm going to say collect on this one. Don't expect it to ever reach those previous things. I think it's like burn me once, shame on you.
Yeah,
Don't burn me
yeah,
twice on this one.
exactly. I think this one's got a bit
So
of a stigma about it. He's one of the ones that sort of did the biggest climb and has had the steepest fall. So it's not
yeah.
going to go back to $1,000. I think you timed it perfectly. I did think
Mhm.
about buying one of these, and I wish I'd pressed the button because it's now going to be
Yeah.
higher.
I mean, there's another, there is another, like for me, I could potentially flip it and make money.
Yeah.
Because I bought when it was, hit the floor, and then it's come up since. What I think is if you really like this book, wait till about 6 months after the show, and it will be back down to some new historic low. Um, so yeah, but I think it's a good book to have in the collection personally. So I collect this one.
Yeah, if I find one reasonable price, I'm probably a collect on this. It is one I'd
Yeah,
quite like to have because I do love the Avengers 57, the original Vision cover.
we can always trade for my raw one if you want. So
Okay,
yeah.
well, we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, so next up, we have got Avengers 6. It's the first appearance of the next Avengers. Torrun, Henry Pym Jr., Francis Barton, James Rogers, Asri, the son of T'Challa, and Storm from an alternative world. Right, okay. I know nothing about this.
I don't really know much about this one, but it's like Avengers #1 in terms of the new team.
Okay.
Um, so instead of being like the older versions of all those characters, so you got like Black Panther, you got Ant-Man, you got all the major characters again, but the juniors of those, like the the next gen of those characters. Um, so yeah. Um, I'd love to know what the census is on this book, how many copies there are and stuff like that.
Well, it's 2010, so print runs weren't huge, were they?
Yeah, I mean, like that's why I've been telling people if you are going to spec on the time from 2005 to 2012. The print runs were really low at that time. Comics were dead. So maybe probably like a 10,000 print run or something, probably like that range.
This is Bendis. I mean, I think he was writing about 20 titles at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I don't know. This one's kind of an interesting one. If you can pick it up for like $15,
Yeah, I mean, it says you can
it's
get
not
a
that
high grade
bad.
raw for 15. That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, I mean, anytime that it's under $20, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
yeah,
like I can invest $20 in whatever it is, and
yeah. It's a low
if I
risk
lose my
investment.
$20,
Yeah, yeah. It's not going
um,
to go to zero, even if, so then what are you going to lose? $10.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, and it's obvious, like Marvel's really obvious what it's planning to do. They set up Kate Bishop, they set up who else? They're setting up right now the Stinger or
Yeah,
Stature,
yeah,
which is the Ant-Man's
yeah,
daughter.
yeah,
They set up, a bunch of tier like next gen characters. Well, what do you do when you have all your next gen Avengers set up? Well, you create a team,
yeah.
right? So that they're being pretty obvious that that's the path they're going to go. So I see this as one of those books that could go up, you know, probably to that $100 range. So I mean, this is definitely one you could spec on.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. I would. You can either collect or flip this.
Yeah, this would be, yeah, maybe a good flip. like if you can pick it up now for 10
Yeah, I
10.
think you might be able it for less than that. If you go around and dig around in some dollar bins, I think you can find
Yeah, I
that.
mean, it's an odd number. It's not like Avengers 1 or
No,
it's sort of like Avengers 6. Well, that's that's a much
yeah,
more
I may
dollar
even
bin
have
kind of,
this in some of the boxes that I've got. I'm going to have a search through.
yeah. I think I might
Okay,
have that.
next up, we have got Fantastic Four 273. This is the first full appearance of Nathaniel Richards,
Hmm.
who is Reed Richards' father
Father.
and
Mhm.
is also, through some strange sort of storyline, he's also responsible for one of the versions of Kang.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's also Kang or Ramatut is the descendant of Nathaniel Richards. It's just
Yeah.
Marvel stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So uh, because Kang's going, there's rumors that Nathaniel Richards' time machine, which is a pyramid, is going to appear.
In this, it appears in this book, I think, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
yeah, yeah,
I have this book,
yeah.
so
I've got two of these.
yeah, yeah. I think I might have one or two as well, strangely enough. Because I was buying this one, 272, and like there's like a bunch that are kind
Yeah,
of related. I think the 272 is like one with like a horse or something,
it's
or
a cowboy one. It's got
cowboyish one, yeah.
yeah,
And it's the first cameo appearance, and then this is the first
full
full appearance.
appearance.
I think
Yeah.
is the way it worked. Yeah, I was specking on this character at the time. Back again before Multiverse of Madness.
Uh-huh.
I thought, I thought it was like, that was where they might introduce the character or something like that. Um,
Yeah, I got these without even knowing what they were. I just because I collect Fantastic Four, and
oh, okay.
I just had them. I just bought them, and they were dollar bin comics. But
Mhm.
they were cheap. They were just a fillers for my Fantastic Four run, and then I discovered they're actually worth something,
Yeah, yeah,
which is nice.
um, yeah. I think
So
this book went up
I
to
think
like
this is for me.
30 bucks.
It's a collect because I collect Fantastic Four.
Yeah, it's a collect for me too. I like my first appearances, and I like my Fantastic Four too. So
Yeah,
I've been gradually creating a Fantastic Four run. So I have a feeling like in terms of timing when to buy this book, whenever it's on a hot list, don't buy it. Like that's the worst time generally to buy it. Um, you know, I think people are going to be disappointed doubly on this one, though. I think it's still a cool book to collect, and I
yeah.
still say collect it. But I think what's going to end up happening is one of two things. One, either the character is going to be in whatever show it is that is related to King, or the next Fantastic Four, or something like that. It's going to be one of these characters that we see, and then all the hype, all that excitement will be over. Okay, that's the best case scenario. Second case scenario is that he doesn't appear, just doesn't appear for whatever reason, or they use some other character to do everything that this character did, and that disappointment is like the Mephisto disappointment, and then the character just becomes worthless.
Well,
So
one of the
it'll
things
drop back down to whatever the price is
Yeah, one
now.
of the things I like about this key collector site is it doesn't talk about graded comics. It says grading is too, they say, grading is really difficult and it's too subjective. So we're
Mhm.
just going to tell you, we're going to look at the marketplace and we're going to tell you what raw copies in low, mid, and high grade are selling for. And I quite like that. These are much more realistic prices. I think you can probably go onto UK eBay now, and I reckon you'll get one of these between 10 and £15
Okay, and then you can flip it,
in a high raw.
and
So
then
for me, that's a collect because again, as we discussed, if you can get it for under $20, what's the downside?
and then would you get it graded and then? flip it as a graded copy,
Well, I'm not a
or
big grader. If you're in the UK now, because of the plummeting pound against the dollar,
oh yeah,
unless
yeah, it's
unless
really
you want
hurt.
to send your comic off and not see it again for a year, you have to pay fast track. And the current fast track price is $80, which is like about 60 to 80 pounds. So
Wow.
would I send off a comic worth $25 and spend 80 pounds, 60 to 80 pounds on it to get it graded? No.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that bad. That's
Yeah, you,
strange.
you didn't used to be, but it is now.
Well, I thought Fast Track was like $30 or something like that.
No,
No. Okay, that sucks. Well, I wouldn't do that.
no.
Okay.
Right. So next up, and I know you've got this one. I
Yeah,
haven't.
I like this one a lot.
This is Green Lantern, Green Arrow. Tell us about this one, Alan.
So this is the first appearance of John Stewart, and he is the Green Lantern. They actually were going. I believe they're going to do a Green Lantern, either a movie or TV series.
It's an
I
HBO
think I,
series, isn't it?
yeah, I think it's an HBO series, but they keep on switching what the plan is for it. So, because there's new leadership at DC, right?
Yeah.
I From what I heard, they're gonna center the show around John Stewart.
Are they?
Okay,
Okay.
so he's going to be the main Green Lantern. I mean, there's like a million Green Lanterns, right? So like literally, there's different creatures and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But so the point is, they're going to center the show around him. He is a fan favorite in terms of the different Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Um, so I think, this was a book that I collected. I saw it as a total collect book.
Yeah.
I would say either collect or flip it. If you have it, you could. I actually think that this is one of those books that will continue to rise.
Well, I
DC
think this
books,
is. I haven't got it. I think it's a collect.
yeah,
This
me
is a comic
too.
I
So
would buy because it's for me. It's a blue chip key, and
yeah, it is definitely a blue chip.
blue chip keys are always collects for me. I think this is, first appearance of a
So
fairly major character. DC keys are undervalued.
way
Uh,
undervalued. And maybe what I think what will happen is if the show is reasonable, and I think with the new leadership, it will be reasonable. Um, I think the book will continue to rise and maybe get to a realistic value for it. I mean, this is like a $500 book.
yeah,
Like I'm not sure what Key Collector says, but it's a $500 book in mid grade.
yeah.
It is a great.
So they're saying mid grade raw 445. Yeah,
Yeah. So like it's a Neil Adams cover too. So
yeah.
not many people. I actually have a signed Neil Adams cover of this book. So yeah, so I'm definitely a big fan of this book. I think it's a great one to have on, in the collection.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a great book. So we're both a collector on that one. Okay, next again, we've got some more Wonder Man, Alan. This is the
This is
first
his first
solo
one.
titled issue featuring Wonder Man. So this came out before that Wonder Man series. It retells the origin of Wonder Man, and it's got a Sienkiewicz, Bill Sienkiewicz cover. Um, so yeah, this is quite nice. Obviously, Wonder Man's coming up. Well, the TV series is going to be coming up, I think, next year sometime.
Mhm.
I quite like this Bill Sienkiewicz cover. So yeah, for me, this is a collect. Well, I've got it. I've collecting it, so I've got it. So I'm obviously going to be a
Yeah.
collect it. You could flip it. I think. I think there's still room here to buy this now and flip it in a couple of months' time or 3 months' time when a trailer drops.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So personally, I collected this book as well. Like I have this book. I bought it again back in the WandaVision era.
Yeah.
Um, if it's a hot book now, I would forget it or flip it. So
I don't think it's hit the highs at the moment. This is
yeah,
still
I think
still get a high
you're
grade
right.
raw for
Closer, get
20.
a trailer or something like that,
Yeah.
then
I think this is
uh,
still worth picking. If you can pick this up for under $25, high
do
grade,
it. Yeah,
I'd buy it and flip it. If you unless you
yeah,
want to collect it, in which case buy it and keep it.
yeah. But I think this book will drop bigger than the other Wonder Man one. The reason being, I mean, this book will drop. I think it's going to drop back down to whatever the price is now. Because, or maybe even a bit lower than the price is now, strangely. Um, because it is not the one that's related to the TV series at all. It's not, the story is not connected. So this one is just, it's really just about Wonder Man himself, not the show.
Yeah, true, true.
So I
But in a
think this
way,
one
I would
will,
say that might protect it. It may not go up as much, but it might not come down as much anyway.
yeah, maybe that could be the case, but yeah, I think this one would be one that you could pick up later for cheaper,
Okay.
um, or at this price. It's like, but I would collect it personally
Yeah,
because
me
I
too.
have it in my collection, so
Yeah.
of
Well,
course I'm going to collect it. And so,
okay. Next up, this is an interesting one. This is Batman: The Long Halloween #6. It's the first appearance of Sophia Falcone, a member of the crime family. And the reason this has
mhm.
gone up is that Christine Milotti has been cast in The Penguin as Sophia Falcone. So
Mm,
I've got the full set of Long Halloween. So I've got this. Fantastic. It's one of the best series of Batman, in my opinion. If you've not read it, go and read it. Uh,
yeah,
it's fantastic. So for me, even without this movie spec stuff, this is a definite collect. If you're a Batman fan and you haven't got the Long Halloween yet, go and buy it.
yeah, I would agree. So definitely a collect. Um, this book is one of those books that is only going to realize its value more, and it's one of those series that any attention to will just make people realize that it was a great series. So I think actually I would recommend not just buy this book, but buy the rest of the series.
Yeah,
Buy the
absolutely.
complete series because definitely undervalued. And it looks like they're paying a lot of attention to this series. Like the Batman movie
Yeah,
was kind of connected to the first issue of the series,
yeah. It didn't follow the
and
plot. I mean, it was nowhere near
it,
as good.
there was a couple twist like
Yeah,
changes. I think it was the Riddler instead of
Two
was it
Face.
Two Face in the comic, but so yeah, things like that. But it was basically similar idea story. So yeah, definitely a good series to pick up. And I think it's one of those series like it'll be like sort of like Watchmen or for Vendetta or something like that that people will sort of like, oh, you want a cool series, read this series. I think it'll get that kind of long term uh, uh, like collect kind of element to it. So yeah, definitely a great
How
book.
many have we done, Alan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Two more to go.
Two
And
more
so
to go.
next we've got Avengers: The Children's Crusade, issue 1. 9-issue series that follows Wiccan and Speed in the
Oh,
search
this
for
one.
Scarlet Witch, who has been missing since the events of House of M. Okay, there's the guy here says rumor that unannounced MCU projects could borrow heavily from this story arc. Yeah, so we're definitely going to see Wiccan and Speed again.
I would say either forget or flip. One of those
So this
two.
isn't the collect for you, Alan. This isn't going to be
Uh,
top of your list for once for 2023.
no, not really. Sorry. I
Yeah,
think it's one of those like I mean there's other books that are better for Wiccan
yeah.
and
I'm
Speed.
not going to go out and look for this, so I'm going to
Yeah.
say it's a forget as well. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean this was on my radar like in terms of books because I knew Wiccan and Speed are they're gonna do something with them. They keep on introducing them. They introduced them both in the WandaVision movie and in the uh,
Film.
in the TV series and in the movie.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, obviously they're going to do something with the characters, but is this the book for those characters? I don't know. There's other books that are better, probably.
Okay, finally, for the 10 we're discussing on your
Oh
channel, we've
wow.
got Young Avengers 1, some more Young Avengers. It was Next Avengers, the last one. Now we've got Young Avengers. Kate Bishop, Patriot, Asgardian, Akka, Wiccan. So Wiccan apparently becomes Asgardian,
Yeah.
Hulkling, and Iron Lad, who is later revealed to be a young variant of Kang. It's Kang again. He's here again.
Yeah, yeah, Kang is. I mean, I think they said John Majors, who plays Kang, right?
Yeah.
They said he's going to be. I think he got like several things that he signed up for, or that he's going to be in multiple things. So, yeah, Kang is going to play a major role.
Yeah, but this is not. He's not going to play. He's not going to play one of the young Avengers. He's a
Oh no, no,
well.
no. But as I was saying with that other book, the Avengers 6 book, um, these characters are the next gen. They're going to do something. It's either going to be the team that was in the previous book or this team, right? So what you have to do is count your bingo cards. Basically, we got Kate Bishop so far. We got, which team is more likely, basically.
Oh, we've got Ironheart, haven't we? She's going to be
And we
appearing.
got Riri, yeah,
Riri Williams. Yeah.
yeah. So, maybe this team might be more realistic than the other team. So basically, the question is, which book do you think is a better spec? Young Avengers or
Next
uh,
Avengers.
yeah, Young Next Avengers. So, I would say both. Just, buy both and hope for the best.
I
This
prefer
one
this
has come down
cover.
a lot.
I prefer
Yeah,
the
this
cover
one has
on
come
this
down
one.
a lot, by the way. This was a really expensive book at one time.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah,
It's
you,
probably come down a bit. Then this. Oh, it's still quite expensive. I hadn't realised how expensive this
I
was.
think this book was like $1,000 book at one time, almost
Oh,
like something in that range for like a 9.8. It's like really pricey book. Um, it's come down a lot. Like I think like 60, 80% drop. So right now might be a time to buy it if you're interested in collecting it. Um, uh, I don't think it's going to reach those heights again,
yeah.
and
I'm not going to go
not
out
for a
and
couple of
spend
years.
$180 on this.
I have this book, so
You've got it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
paid
for
50
me, I
bucks.
think for me that's a forget at that price.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I paid 50 bucks for my copy, and
yeah.
it was like a
Okay.
9.8 candidate. So
Right. I think that's the first 10 on
that's
the
that's
list.
the that's the first ones. Those are I guess those would be the ones that are in Comic Tom's kind of runner-up list. We're gonna do the main top 10, right? The big, or am I right in saying this? That
I,
these
I,
are the
I think so. I think we're working
our way
up.
up, right?
Yeah.
So the next bigger books, the ones that are super, super hot, we're going to look on Mark's channel. So go over to Mark's channel and see what we say about the last 10 books on this list. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.